Alrighty, so I am Dan Brozo from 102.1 KPRi, and I'm sitting here with the great Adam Carolla. Adam, been a huge fan of yours for years, man. Listen to you every night on Loveline, watch Crank Yankers, Man Show, Hammer. My parents love the Hammer, and now congrats on number one podcast in the world, dude.
Thanks, Dan. It's funny when you say I'm sitting here with Adam Carolla because I'm 100 miles away sitting here in London. But we will be sitting together coming up.
Oh, yes.
If.
Yeah, down at Spreckel's Theater with Dennis Prager. So let me ask you, for those of us that don't know much about these Dennis Prager shows, can you tell us a little bit about what happens on those shows? What's the setup for those?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I've always been a fan of Dennis Prager, even though he's an ultra-conservative Jew. And he didn't know he was a fan of mine, but I made him love me. Yeah. And I like listening to alternative viewpoints. I know everyone wants to just hear their own thoughts echoed back into their own skull. But for me, if you're conservative, maybe you should listen to some alternative viewpoints. And if you're sort of alternative, maybe you should listen to some conservative viewpoints. It makes you, it's like you're an MMA fighter. If you have a really good stand-up game, don't just keep practicing boxing, work a little jiu-jitsu and work some wrestling in. So
there you go. All right, while we're talking about San Diego, you got any good San Diego stories?
Well, I used to occasionally stay in San Diego when I'd go on one of my many Tijuana runs.
Oh, yes, I've heard about those.
I had friends who went to San Diego State, go Aztecs, and I'd stay in their dorms, and we'd go to Tijuana, get just blindingly drunk, vomit all over the place, and then crash out at their dorms in San Diego. Or sometimes I would just sleep on the beach in Tijuana with a blanket.
There you go, dude.
Not even a sleeping bag, a blanket. I would bring, and not a blanket, the blanket from my bed. I would bring the blanket from my bed and take it to go camping on the beach in Tijuana.
Shocker, you never got busted or messed with by the drug cartels down there, man.
You know what's weird? I think it's one of those things where they must have thought I was an undercover DEA agent.
Yeah.
Nobody would be that stupid to go sleep on a beach in Tijuana with an orange blanket from their bed.
All right, so I was going to ask you if you could give me a little special treat here. Are you willing to do a little bit of What Can Adam Complain About with me here?
Sure.
All right, I got a special San Diego edition. I'm going to give you two choices here, and you get to pick what you want to complain about. I got San Diego weather or San Diego women, and you get to choose which one.
All right, I'll say the women.
Okay.
I think that the San Diego women are beautiful, but I don't suspect they're all from San Diego. I think they moved to San Diego because hot chicks want to show themselves off, and when you're in one of the Dakotas, you're wearing a coat over your Dakotas, and you want to come show it off. I like the idea that there's tons of hot chicks in San Diego, but I don't suspect they're all from San Diego. I think they just took a look in the mirror on their 21st birthday and realized, I got to get to a place where people see more of this.
Alrighty, so once again, Adam's show with Dennis Prager is on May 5th, Saturday, down at Spreckel Theater, downtown San Diego. You can find tickets to the show at KPRiFM.com and at AdamCarolla.com. Also, check out his podcast at AdamCarolla.com. Find him on Twitter at Adam Carolla and on Facebook at Adam Carolla. It has been a dream, dude.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thanks so much for talking with us, and hope to see you down here in San Diego coming up.
My pleasure.